avoid. And I'm going to give you 10 mistakes to avoid, but I'm going to give you also the process to follow as you're avoiding these mistakes in order to profit. Because I can give you what to avoid, but how do you produce and how do you move forward? That's the big question. So multifamily, that's the end goal for everybody that's here. Everybody that's here is in warehouse, data centers, multi-unit real estate data centers, big box data centers, office warehouse, that's another big one. Reposition of distressed assets, retail and office, massive. Either level it or reposition it. And then multifamily. There is a massive need for multifamily. Here's what's cool, is that most people don't know how to build, okay? And so one of the biggest mistakes I made in the past is that in early years, I went too small. So the first thing is go bigger. And when I say go bigger, right now the small game is where it's at. But what I mean by going bigger is, you play this single family game. The single family game is great for active income, but that's all it's good for is active income. Now, truth be told, the multi-unit game is where it's at, hands down. Because that's where profits are, that's where tax benefits are, that's where residual income is. But right now, anything over about 50 units is, unless you have the experience, is near shy of impossible for new people to get into unless they have a bandwidth of capital. If they don't have a bandwidth of capital and somebody with the experience to build it, you're X'd out no matter how much of a badass you think you are, because that's just lending right now, okay? So go bigger, stop thinking so small. The fix and flip game, the Airbnb game, it's not a good game, okay? Go bigger, guys. And even the small game, what I'm considering the small game, people go, well, Jerome, small game, you're saying like 20 units, 30 units. It's small, guys, that's small, okay? Now, number two, you have to have affirmation in the business model that you're doing, okay? Because the second biggest mistake that I made in early years is I would go in, I'd underwrite these things, and I'd say, when I underwrite them, I'd go, okay, here's my purchase price, this is what I think I'm gonna make, and then I feel comfortable with this. Okay, I'll buy it. Didn't know what a cap rate was, didn't know what banks were looking for, was just all about Jerome's bottom line, and if I personally felt comfortable. That's not the way Las Vegas works. That's not the way the house works. And that's not the way they're building billion-dollar casinos. And that's definitely not the way the banks work. So the biggest goal is to be able to function like the house in Vegas, because the house wins. That's how they're building billion-dollar casinos. The house wins. That's how banks make money. So when you function like the house, you win. When you function against the house, you lose. Big mistake for novices. Don't do that shit. Make sure you go in and you structure yourself like the house, okay? Business model first. What are you gonna build? Why? Why are you gonna build it? Which leads me into number 3, okay? Lot is the second thing that you find. First, you find your business model. Then you go acquire land. Most people just look for land. They're like a blind man in a dark room. You guys ever seen Mr. Escalante with Stand and Deliver? You're like a blind man. You're like a black cat in a dark room. You're like a blind man in a dark room with looking for a black cat that isn't there. That was the saying. And it's like you guys are looking for something that isn't there. It doesn't exist. So the lot is always second, guys, because you have to have a business model. Then you go in and you start looking for land that supports that business model within a demographic area. Because you can go and find land anywhere. Just look around. There's shitty areas, there's good areas, there's position areas. What's your business model, okay? And how does it support your business model, okay? You just can't go in and just find land anywhere. And so that mistake I made early on, but I caught that in the first couple of years of me building, is I said, you know what, I need to figure out my business model. And if it doesn't fit my business model, X out the area. Because I did get lucky in some areas that I didn't lose, but I didn't make as much as I wanted to. And I had to deal with bullshit, like just stupid ass people, broke ass people. You can't make money with broke ass people, because broke ass people are gonna leverage you, they're gonna lie, cheat, and steal. What a mentor taught me is he said, people in survival mode will lie, cheat, and steal from their family to survive. If they'll lie, cheat, and steal from their family, they're gonna lie, cheat, and steal from you too. Don't deal with them. Go deal with the fluency, okay? So find a business model, and then 3, go find the land second, okay? Now, number 4 goes back to what I said in number 2, okay? Number 4, you need affirmation. You need to go find a business model. You need to go find affirmation in your business model by utilizing comps and proformas. Comps and proformas. You need to go to the professionals. You need to go to the property management companies. You need to go to the big brokers, and you need to go and get affirmation that, one, the big brokers, can they go in and sell it provided you lease it, even if you're not going to sell it. Because if you have a product that they can't sell, why would you want it? If the big brokers can't sell it and they can't offload it, you're gonna stay with that piece of shit? And that's the truth. So what I always tell people is, if they can't offload it to a sophisticated buyer, why do you want garbage? Okay, you don't want garbage. So you need to make sure you have affirmation for the big brokers. Now, the property management companies, if they can't lease it and they don't feel comfortable leasing it, then why would you? I remember going in and we were repositioning hotels, but the market in Phoenix just took off. And there was so much inventory on the west side of Phoenix that there was over 2,000 doors that was all coming to the market, all within the same 6 months. And the absorption rate was gonna be over 18 months just to get those 2,000 doors finished. And I was gonna go in and I was gonna buy this Embassy Suites, hotel. And it was beautiful. Palm trees, landscaping was cared for. The owners really cared for that property. And I sat back and said, this friggin' thing's a home run. If you guys have ever been to Embassy Suites, they have a little living room. They have a little minute kitchen. We can convert that, make it bigger. Plenty of square footage, nice little bedroom that's separated. Not a lot to do. Had the ballrooms, the restaurants, the whole 9 yards. All the amenities. And they said, don't buy it, Jerome. Because you're going to fall right into this absorption period. These guys are going to be giving... are going to be giving rents away, and they're going to be giving discounts on rents, and you're going to land up with an inferior product in an inferior area, and the people won't take to your product. This is not the day, age, and time. 2 years ago, yes. Maybe 2 years from now, yes. Right now, we can't sell it, we can't fill it, don't buy it. And I sat back, scratched my head, and go, damn, that sucks, right? But don't fight the force, guys. Don't go against the grain. If the professionals can't do it, don't think that you're a badass. Just follow the process. If you get more than one person telling you they can't do it, if one person tells you you can't do it, then sit back and go, okay, let me get a second opinion. Let me get a third opinion. But if all 2 and 3 come back and they're like, wham, 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 and they down your business model, you know to walk, okay? So that's what we did. We walked. And that property's come back to us 3 times since. We may buy it one day. You may be sitting here in a different story, a different day. But today, it doesn't work. Ground up, HUD, that works, okay? So proformas, rents, resale, and cost to build. Rents, resale, and cost to build. You need proformas on those 3 things. And what's the expense to run that place if you do buy it and take it down? That's number 4. Okay, I didn't do that before. Now we do. We do that. Since 2016, every property gets a proforma indefinitely. No exceptions. Number 5. What do I build? Okay, it kind of goes back to number 4, right? Like, what do I build? You sit back, you have to sit back and go, okay, you have to build what's needed. Not what people want, not what you want, what's needed. I always, in early years, I used to sit back and go, I'm going to build, I have these great plans, right? And I hear this all the time. I'll do meetups and people will come up and say, Jerome, I got this piece of land. It's awesome. I got it from my grandfather. We've had it in the house, in the family for the last 25 years. I want to do something that makes my grandfather proud. I'm going to build, and they just come up with this big, they paint this picture of apartments and houses and walking trails and all this stuff. And I sit back and scratch my head and I listen to them for a second. I go, all right, can you rent it? Can you make income doing it? And they go, I think, yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I said, have you got information? Did you get your proformas? Okay? So you have to go in and you don't build. Who gives a shit what you want? Who gives a shit what I want? What do the people want? What do the people that are going to rent from you and make you money want? It doesn't matter what you want. All that matters is what they want, because they're going to rent and they're going to give you money for what they want, not what you want. So don't go in, you use those proformas, you talk to the brokers, you talk to the leasing agents, and you find out where the deficit is. Do I need more 2 bedrooms in this area? Do I need more 1 bedrooms in this area? Do I need retail in this area? What is needed? Like, what are people coming in that you don't have, that you wish you had, but you don't? That's what the broker is going to tell you, because their clients are telling them what they want, and they're telling them what they don't have available, and then they're going to tell you what they need, and then you build what they need. That's how you make money. Okay, I never did that in the past. People sit back and they go in and they say, how do you deal with municipalities and getting approvals when they don't want to approve it? I don't. I have almost 100% approval rate. You know why? Because when I find a piece of land and I think I have a business model, I go talk to them first, and I sit back and I ask them, what's your progressive growth plan? What do you want to see in this area? Like, what's already on your progressive growth plan that I can support? And then I look at what they want, what I can support, and then I figure out what I need in order to make money and how I can support what they're doing. And then if I can support what they're doing, give them what they want and get what I need, then it's a win-win situation. But you have to figure out what they want first, see how you can fulfill it in order to get what you want. Does that make sense? That's the municipal game right there, okay? Now, the process. That's number 6. I had no process in early years. Massive mistake. I remember tying up this property for 2 years, guys. Attorneys, time, city council meetings, fighting with these guys, fighting with the city planners. I thought she was a pain in the ass. This lady, Cindy, she wasn't a pain in the ass. She was just doing her job. I was dumb, ignorant, and didn't know what the hell I was doing. And so I wound up fighting with her. Lo and behold, the land I was trying to buy and develop 15, 20 years ago is still there, vacant, non-developed, 5, 6, 7 planners later, doesn't fit the progressive growth plan. Why are you gonna fight the force, man? Why are you gonna go against the grain? Doesn't make sense. You know, follow the process. Go in, find out first what the city needs and wants and is supporting. Then see how you support it. Second, you go in and do a neighborhood outreach. Doesn't matter. You're going to get all kinds of bullshit, crazy ass people saying dumbass shit, giving you pushback, and they're going to hate you. They're going to think you're the Antichrist. You're going to be the person that everybody loves to hate because you're a developer. Then once you develop it, they're going to love every piece of what you develop, but they're going to bitch and moan the whole way through the process. So don't worry. Just go through the process. And first, you get an informal city council meeting, figure out what they want. Go through the neighborhood outreach, figure out what they need and what they want and how you can support whatever you can within a threshold of reason. Then you go back and you do a formal city council meeting, putting together the maximum density and high and best use for your land. Then you go in and present that to them and you show how you're supporting the comments that the neighbors made for the neighborhood outreach. And then you go from there, okay? And we didn't do this before. We fight with everybody. We fight with everybody. And we sit back and we try to hold our stance and move forward. Stupid. Don't do it. Don't fight. If you're fighting, just sit back and say, okay, take notes of what's reasonable, exit out what's not, and within a threshold of reason, you go in and you show the city that you've went through the steps in the process, okay? Number 7, financing is next, okay? Now, once you went through the process, you have a set of plans, engineering, you have your approvals, you go back, now you get financing. Most people go to the bank, can I build this? Do you have a lot? No. The bank's gonna say no. And you go, do you have a set of plans? Do you know what you're building? No. The bank's gonna tell you, no, you can't build it. What are you building? You have to go through the process. Until you have a lot, an approval, and a set of plans, don't go to the bank. Most people sit back and go, well, how do I know I'm gonna get lending? You're gonna get lending. Follow the process. Be gullible enough to follow the process. That's what banks need, okay? Don't be stubborn, okay? That was me. I used to go back, hey, can I get financing for this? No. You can't until you follow the damn process that the banks need. Banks can't appraise something that doesn't exist. You have to have something tangible that exists for them to appraise it, okay? Number 8, equity. Now you go in, you figure out how much leverage the bank is gonna give you. And number 8, I would sit back and think, okay, I think I'm gonna need this much money. I was always short on my capital. Then I was struggling, stealing from Paul to pay Peter. I was out there pouring concrete, stressing myself out, making myself go gray and wrinkle before I needed to because I was too stupid to follow the process and then get the equity. Once your bank tells you how much leverage they're gonna get, now you know exactly how much money you're gonna need. Now you go after the equity. And now you start positioning yourself. Now you have a loan, a term sheet. Now you go through the equity, get the equity. I didn't know this in early years. And so I tell you, this is the process of getting money, guys. This is the process of getting a loan, and this is the process of getting a project out of the ground. Now, number 9, value engineering. This is where you go in and you've already taken your plans to bid. You already know what your budget is. You've already gotten your financing quote, your term sheets, and now your equity. Now you're gonna sweeten the deal. You're gonna go in and you're gonna start value engineering. That means you're gonna go in and start working to find ways to cut money, but still keep the quality of that asset. Like we just did roofing. They were doing it at $10 a square foot. Well, we're already insulating the interior of the roof. They had this 4-inch foam in there and they had all this bullshit we didn't need that the engineers did. $300,000 savings on our roof on a 150,000 square foot apartment complex, 150 units. And we say $300,000 in value engineering. We had a monolithic slab with stem walls on our foundation. These stem walls, over 2,100 linear feet of stem walls, 2 feet tall. The foundation was gonna cost us over $2 million. We were able to shave almost $400,000 off through value engineering by doing block stem walls instead of concrete. So we can have all the forming, the labor, the concrete, the steel, the cages, all that, and then just pour monolithic slabs like a foundation on a house for these 150 units of apartments, 3 stories tall. Value engineering, 400 grand, ladies and gentlemen. So value engineering I didn't know anything about value engineering. I figured once I got a price, I had to stick to it. You don't. That's where you go in, you work with your engineers, you work with your structural engineers, you work with your subcontractors. Your subcontractors will sit back and go, why are you doing it like this? We built a stack on our plumbing where the plumber had this 8-inch sewer line. And the plumber sat back and go, why are you running 8-inch everywhere? Why don't you build a stack? Why don't you start with 2-inch, go to 3-inch, then go to 4-inch, then go to 6-inch, then go to 8-inch pipe. We'll save you over $70,000 if you build a stack on the sewer lines alone. So we did. We went back to our engineers. They saved us $70,000 just by building a stack on our sewer lines. Same thing with the water lines. They called out 1 1/4 inch through all 150 units, third floor, second floor, first floor, all the way in. I landed up having to put a chart together where they can go all the way down to a 1/2 inch line, another $110,000 by building a stack on my water lines. Value engineering, guys. Value engineering. We still do it today. And these are just a couple examples. No one knows what value engineering is, but we were able to shave over $2 million off of our bottom line of our project on a $31 million build. We took it down to $29 million just by value engineering, which means it decreased our equity that we needed to come to the table with because we already had a term sheet from the bank. That's why value engineering is so important on the back end, because now we could either bring the equity or we create the equity and collateralize the equity we create, and we lower our build cost. And now we have to raise less capital and equity we have to raise, less liability, higher returns to the investors, safer asset, easier to stabilize, win-win situation. And number 10, guys, build it and stabilize it. It's all about timing. You got to build it fast. You got to stabilize it effectively and efficiently. Time is money. You can either leverage time or you can leverage the build cost. If you get your build cost down where it needs to be, but you do it in a time frame that's way too long and your debt service takes too long, that'll sink a ship. So make sure that you're always positioning yourself and you manage time and execution of your subcontractors and hold them accountable for the time frames that you planned. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the 10 things that I wish I knew when I first started developing real estate, and specifically multifamily. For more content just like this, for more keys, tips on real estate and how to successfully build, stabilize, and ultimately profit from all your real estate investments, click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Smash that thumbs up button. Give me some love. And I'll recommend some videos after this video. And ladies and gentlemen, continue compounding your success. God bless and have a great weekend.